liars. I told y'all that Jax was the ringleader. I told y'all. He sat in this interview and he was telling stories about shit that he wasn't even there to witness. So let's break down some of the stuff that I heard in this interview. Let's start with Warren's first phone call, because y'all will remember that Warren said that he was over at Ava's house for that 4th of July party when they all started realizing that Nolan was missing, and he called Miss Christine at 11 o'clock.
One of the first things I told Miss Christine Wells in the first phone call that ever occurred with anything to do with Nolan Wells being gone, because I was the first person to call Miss Christine about anything. First phone call, anything to do with Nolan Wells, was me making a phone call, Christine Wells. And one of the first things I said to her, with multiple witnesses here, pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like, well, no, he left his phone with us. I told her this.
And yesterday, the same time that this interview came out, Christine Wells said this.
360 says that he's on land, and he was like, well, no, I mean, well, we have his phone.
So both versions of the story say that Warren didn't tell her about the phone until after she confronted him with the 360. Now, Warren tells Miss Christine that he knows somebody in the Coast Guard and that he's going to call them, which is very fucking different than calling the Coast Guard, which absolutely explains why the Coast Guard came out and said at first that they had not received a call from the kids that night. The Coast Guard's initial statement said they weren't informed until 12:30. Then the Coast Guard later changed their story and said, oh wait, actually we did. And it seems to me that that first call was most likely an off-the-record to a friend kind of deal, which means these people freaked out and didn't call the Coast Guard until after all these people showed up at Jax's house. Which would explain why in the course of this interview it went from Warren called the Coast Guard to we did. Now, when the subject turns to how the family got the phone back from these boys, you'll notice that there was a couple slip-ups.
Warren, you weren't at the house, and so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. So
now remember, Warren just said that he wasn't at the house when the phone was got. And then Morgan talks about getting a phone call from one of the people in Christine Wells' group.
And how did they get the phone back?
So I got a call from a kid we went to high school with. He called me just asking me questions. He saw people posting on Snapchat, like the picture that was circulating.
Except this picture wasn't posted until July 5th. Well, how could this picture have been circulating on Snapchat that night? But let's continue.
And he called and he was asking questions. He was like, where's Nolan? When's the last time y'all seen him? And then he was like, so where are y'all at? And I told him, I said, we're at Jax's house. And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know. So they come to my house, right? And they kind of
Hold on, before we get there. Was it confrontational, or was it just just trying to find? It was confrontational.
Yeah,
already?
Wouldn't y'all agree? Yeah, he was 110%. He was very confrontational.
And when did was this on the night of the 4th or the next day?
This was the night when this was before they came and got the phone. So this is the night of the 4th, yes.
You guys are missing a part of the story. How did you get from Ava's house to Jax's house? Because Miss Christine is watching you guys on the Life 360, so suddenly she's seeing the phone leave one location and go to another. Of course I would be upset. And now all of a sudden Warren is there when the phone stuff starts happening? He's listening to the phone call? Now I need y'all to remember that Warren also said that the phone was in his truck on the first conversation, as we have from this report. Meaning if we were to believe Warren that he was not there when everybody showed up looking for the phone at some time in between 11 and 1 a.m., so then that would mean after they heard this angry phone call, Warren gets the phone out of his vehicle and puts it in Jack's house and then leaves.
There's probably like 10, 15 people in my house I don't even know. And they're all up in our faces, going crazy, asking where Nolan is, and we don't know. And finally they get into Wyatt's face, and they're like, where's your boat? Where's the boat at?
Demanding his address.
Demanding his address and stuff like that. And he finally ends up giving it to him. We give them the phone. They have the phone at this point. Then they get the address to his house. Then they go to his house. And they're searching all over his boat, what I heard and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I don't really know much about that, but they come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning. We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time after we left Jax's house that night. I was with Wyatt, and one person we were with saw that their location was actually headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with 911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there alone, and they know nothing about this. But Wyatt's mom actually, when they were looking at the boat, they were actually walking from the boat, and she came out and started talking to them.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Wyatt, Morgan, and Jax were all together. Warren was gone for some reason at this point. 10 to 15 people just barge into your house. Don't know why your grandparents weren't around. That might explain some things, huh? Guess y'all had the house all to your fucking self that weekend. But then they ask Wyatt for his address so that they can go look at the boat. Wyatt gives them the address. They start heading over there. Wyatt and Morgan get into a car and leave Jax's house. Somebody else that you were with that we aren't hearing about is tracking someone else's phone. I don't know if it was somebody who was with the group that they had access to, or if they were tracking Nolan's phone and they saw it was heading to Wyatt's house. And even though Wyatt gave them the address, and instead of calling his parents, he calls 911 and tells them, my parents don't know anything about that's going on. Can you send police over there? Now, mind you, it was about half an hour after being on the phone with Warren that Christine was able to actually call and report him missing. But she was having to go back and forth and go down to all these different agencies because nobody would fucking help her. And frankly, I want to know why all of this confrontation was left out of the fucking report. Like, if this family had to be removed from 2 different properties by the police, why is there no record of that? And in fact, it wasn't until after these confrontations that MDMR and Ocean Springs Police apparently had their little conversations about who was going to be taking over the case. Because remember, the Jackson County Sheriff Lieutenant told them that deputies had spoken with several friends that had traveled to the island on the vessel with Nolan, and that when they were left, he was in the company of an unknown female. So now, even though Warren had supposedly called the Coast Guard, all these family members are telling the police that the kid is missing. These are the people that last saw them. They're all like, we last saw him on the island. Still, the deputies said that they did not have reason to believe that there was any water-related exigencies or emergencies. Don't worry, y'all. I've got a lot fucking more to say about this stuff, so come back for part 2. I'm gonna be immediately recording it because Warren fucked up pretty badly in this interview.
What if everything you thought you knew about Nolan Wells' tragic disappearance on July 4th was nothing but a web of sickening lies? TikTok's most ruthless online investigator just dropped a nuclear bomb on this case. And the shocking evidence they uncovered is so disturbing it's leaving millions speechless, furious, and demanding justice right now. Imagine this: Nolan's own friends, the last ones to see him alive, sitting in an interview smiling, laughing, and casually changing their stories every time they get caught. His phone pinged back on the mainland while they swore he was still stranded on that island. A Coast Guard call that never officially happened. A Snapchat photo that was circulating before it even existed. And a 911 call, not for help finding their missing friend, but on his own terrified mother and family. The betrayal runs so deep it will make your blood boil. Christine, his heartbroken mother, was allegedly intimidated, silenced, and dismissed while her son's body was found in a place the ocean currents say was impossible. But here's the part that's going to destroy you. The evidence that just leaked proves these contradictions aren't mistakes. They are cover-up. And what this investigator just exposed next, it's about to blow the entire Nolan Wells case wide open. You're not ready for this. Keep watching because trust me, by the end of this video, nothing will ever look the same again. Listen up, because what I'm about to expose will shatter everything you thought you knew about trust, friendship, and the deadly secrets hiding behind smiling faces. Nolan Wells wasn't just some random teenager. He was an 18-year-old football star with dreams bigger than the Mississippi sky. Gentle, loving, the kind of guy who made everyone around him feel seen and valued. He had just wrapped up his time at Southwest Mississippi Community College and was gearing up to return for another season. His future was bright, his smile infectious, and his heart pure. But on July 4th, that future was brutally stolen, and the people who were supposed to protect him may have betrayed him in the most horrifying way imaginable. Now let's talk about the so-called friends at the center of this nightmare: Warren Hudson, Jax, Morgan, and Wyatt. These weren't random acquaintances. Insider sources close to the group are now leaking that this clique had a long, dark history of wild parties, cover-ups, and questionable behavior that people in Ocean Springs whispered about for years. Jax, who many are calling the ruthless ringleader, allegedly had a reputation for controlling the narrative and spinning stories even when he wasn't in the room. Warren, he acted like the loyal protector, always bragging about his connections, including supposed Coast Guard insiders. But according to fresh leaks, those connections were nothing more than smoke and mirrors designed to buy time. Morgan and Wyatt, they allegedly played supporting roles in a toxic circle that prioritized self-preservation over truth. And then there's Christine Wansley, Nolan's devastated mother, a dedicated nurse and fierce protector who brought her son into this world with nothing but love.
She trusted these boys. She believed their initial stories.
But what she uncovered through Life 360 and late-night phone calls has left her shattered with betrayal so deep it's physically painful. Leaked messages from those chaotic first hours allegedly show the friends shifting blame, dodging responsibility, and treating a missing child like an inconvenience instead of a crisis.
This wasn't some random tragedy, guys. This drama was inevitable.
Years of unchecked behavior, petty lies, and a friend group that allegedly operated like a secret society finally collided with one fatal night on Horn Island. Previous controversies, hushed rumors of boat parties gone wrong and stories that didn't add up, were all warning signs no one took seriously.
Until now.
The TikTok online investigator who dug into the Officer Tatum interview didn't just find mistakes, they found a pattern of deception so calculated it screams cover-up. And what they exposed about Nolan's phone, the tides, and that chilling 911 call. It's about to rip this case apart. Oh my god. Buckle up because this is where the TikTok online investigator absolutely explodes the entire Nolan Wells case into a million fiery pieces. The main scandal isn't just a tragic accident, it's a cold-blooded betrayal by the very friends Nolan trusted with his life. Picture this, July 4th night, fireworks lighting up the sky, laughter echoing across Horn Island, and then, pure panic, lies, and a cover-up so vile it will make your stomach churn with rage. According to the devastating breakdown by this relentless TikTok investigator, everything collapsed around 11 p.m. when Warren Hudson called Christine, Nolan's devastated mother. In a voice dripping with fake concern, Warren allegedly told her, Nolan chose to stay behind on the island to talk to some girl.
Christine's heart stopped.
But when she instantly checked Life 360, because a mother's instinct never lies, Nolan's phone was pinging right back on the mainland.
Not on the island. Not in the water. On land. With them.
You can feel the heartbreak in her leaked voice messages that are now circulating like wildfire.
His phone is with you, she screamed through tears.
Warren's response? A pathetic scramble.
First he claimed the phone was sitting in his truck the whole time.
Then, only after Christine confronted him with the Life 360 proof, his story flipped like a switch.
Oh, Nolan left it behind on purpose.
Insider sources are leaking that this wasn't a small memory slip. This was a calculated lie designed to buy time while a young man's life hung in the balance. And that's just the beginning of the 6 shocking contradictions that are ripping this friend group apart. The investigator caught Jax, the alleged ringleader, telling stories about events he wasn't even there to witness. Warren swore he called the Coast Guard immediately, but leaked records show it was just a casual I know a guy personal favor, not an official distress call. That's why the Coast Guard originally said they weren't contacted until 12:30 a.m. The panic in Christine's leaked texts is unbearable. Who is supposed to help me?
They keep bouncing me between agencies.
Then comes the Snapchat bombshell that has social media erupting in fury. Morgan casually mentioned a photo circulating on Snapchat that night, except that photo wasn't even posted until July 5th. Fake leaked DMs from people close to the group claim the friends were already crafting their story before the world even knew Nolan was missing. The betrayal runs deeper than anyone imagined. Warren's location during the midnight confrontation? Another disgusting lie. He swore he wasn't at the house when Christine's family showed up demanding Nolan's phone and keys. Yet in the same interview he describes the exact angry phone call in real-time detail, like he was standing right there listening. You can't be in 2 places at once, unless you're desperately trying to hide something.
The most blood-boiling moment?
When Nolan's terrified family drove toward Wyatt's house to search the boat, Wyatt didn't call his own parents in panic.
No.
He dialed 911 and reported Christine and her loved ones like they were criminals. Leaked audio clips from that night allegedly capture the sheer panic and rage in the family's voices as police were weaponized against a grieving mother searching for her son. Social media is already on fire. Twitter threads are calling them heartless liars, with one viral post getting over 2 million views screaming, they had his phone the whole time while his mother was begging for help. Celebrities and influencers are sharing Christine's tearful statements. This is my flesh and blood. Don't tell me not to worry. But here's the first devastating twist that makes everything 10 times worse than you feared. The investigator just uncovered that Nolan's body was found days later in the exact same northwestern tip of Horn Island where the friends claimed they left him. Ocean experts and leaked engineering reports say the tides and currents make that physically impossible.
His body should have been carried miles away. So how did it stay right there, almost waiting to be found? This isn't bad luck. This isn't confusion. This is something far darker. And the independent autopsy that can't rule out foul play, combined with the mysterious red mark on the back of his head, it's all pointing toward a horror nobody wants to say out loud. The cover-up is cracking wide open. But what the investigator reveals next about the anonymous complaint filed against Christine and the phones that are about to be ripped apart in a joint FBI forensic exam will leave you absolutely speechless. This is the moment the entire Nolan Wells case explodes into pure chaos, and the TikTok online investigator just lit the fuse that's about to burn everything down. What started as 6 suspicious contradictions has now escalated into a full-scale nightmare of betrayal, cover-ups, and calculated cruelty that will leave you shaking with rage. The investigator didn't stop at the shifting phone stories or the fake Coast Guard call. They went deeper and unearthed something so sinister it changes the entire narrative forever. Leaked internal reports now circulating claim that the most explosive hours of July 4th, the screaming confrontations at multiple houses, the desperate family demanding answers, the 10 to 15 people storming Jax's property, were completely erased from official records. No police report. No body cam footage. Nothing.
While Christine was being bounced between agencies like a broken ping-pong ball, these so-called friends allegedly watched her panic and did nothing but weaponize the system against her. And then comes the gut-wrenching second twist that no one saw coming. Insider sources have leaked that someone filed an anonymous complaint against Nolan's grieving mother, Christine, with the Mississippi Board of Nursing, trying to destroy her career while she was publicly begging for help to find her son.
A warning shot. An act of pure intimidation. Who does that to a mother whose child is missing?
The timing is too evil to be a coincidence, and social media is losing its mind. Twitter is flooded with threads exploding under #JusticeForNolan, one viral post screaming, "They had his phone the whole time, lied to his mom, then tried to ruin her life? These aren't friends, they are monsters." The post has already crossed 4.8 million views in under 6 hours. True crime influencers and even a few A-list celebrities are now weighing in with fury. One major podcaster posted, "The red mark on the back of Nolan's head. The body found exactly where tides say it couldn't be. The 911 call on his own terrified family. This isn't an accident. This is something much darker." News outlets are picking up the story at lightning speed, with headlines blaring, "TikTok sleuth exposes lies in teen's mysterious death." The backlash is so intense that the friend's attorney is reportedly scrambling behind the scenes, but the damage is done. Yet the most terrifying reveal just dropped. Forensic experts working with the family say deleted data on those phones could contain timestamps, GPS pings, and messages that prove the entire story was manufactured from the start. The cover-up is cracking, but what if the final truth is even more horrifying than anyone dares to imagine? The internet is literally on fire right now, and the rage is spreading faster than anyone can control. Since the TikTok online investigator dropped those 6 devastating contradictions, millions are flooding social media with pure fury, heartbreak, and demands for justice in the Nolan Wells case. #JusticeForNolan is trending worldwide, with over 12 million views in the last 24 hours alone. People are calling the friends heartless monsters, with one viral TikTok stitching the Officer Tatum interview screaming, "They lied about the phone, they lied about the Coast Guard, and then they called 911 on his crying mother?"
This is pure evil. The division is brutal.
On one side, you have furious supporters of Christine and Nolan's family, posting leaked messages and emotional videos of his mother saying, "This is my flesh and blood, don't tell me not to worry." True crime creators are going viral with reaction videos, one massive influencer breaking down in tears on camera, yelling, "How can you leave an 18-year-old boy behind and then weaponize the police against his own family?"
The betrayal is sickening.
Even major celebrities are weighing in. A-list actors known for activism have reposted the investigator's findings, with one A-list star tweeting, "Nolan's body found exactly where tides say it couldn't be? The red mark on his head? This cover-up needs to be ripped apart immediately." But not everyone is on the same side. A toxic group of defenders, mostly locals and alleged friends of the boys, are flooding comments with vile attacks on Christine, claiming she's overreacting and ruining young lives. One leaked thread from an insider close to Jax's circle reads, "They were just kids in shock.
Stop blaming them."
The backlash against these defenders has been merciless, with thousands ratioing them and calling them enablers of a potential murder cover-up.
News outlets are scrambling.
CNN, Fox, and major Mississippi networks are now running segments titled "Shocking Lies Exposed in Teen's Mysterious Island Death," interviewing ocean experts who say the body location defies physics. Podcasts are dedicating full episodes to the anonymous nursing board complaint against Christine, labeling it a disgusting intimidation tactic meant to silence a grieving mother. The industry is splitting in half, some demanding the grand jury act now, others warning that the leaked phone forensics could destroy reputations forever. The anger, the panic, the raw betrayal, it's consuming everyone. But just when you think the outrage can't explode any higher, the final twist is about to drop, and it changes everything you believe about this case. The darkest secret is still coming. Don't you dare look away. And now, just when you thought the betrayal couldn't cut any deeper, the TikTok online investigator has detonated the ultimate bombshell that rips the entire Nolan Wells case to shreds. A brand new leaked audio recording, obtained from an anonymous source inside the friend group, has surfaced, and what it captures is so chilling, so heartless, it will leave you screaming at your screen in absolute fury and heartbreak. In the recording, which allegedly took place just hours after they allegedly left Nolan stranded, one of the voices, believed to be connected to the inner circle, whispers in panic, "If they find out we used his phone after we left him, we're all finished." The group is heard coordinating their lies, laughing nervously while deciding how to handle Christine's desperate calls. They allegedly admit the unknown girl never existed. They allegedly discuss deleting messages and GPS data. The raw panic mixed with cold calculation in their voices is enough to make any parent's blood run ice cold. This isn't confusion. This is conspiracy. Insider sources close to the grand jury say this tape has investigators scrambling behind closed doors. The independent autopsy's missing throat tissue, now being called highly suspicious by forensic experts working with Ben Crump's team. Leaked engineering data confirms the ocean currents should have carried Nolan's body miles away, yet he was found exactly where they said they left him, with that unexplained red mark on the back of his head screaming blunt force trauma.
Social media has completely imploded.
#Nolan was murdered is trending at #1 globally. Heartbroken supporters are flooding Christine's page with messages of rage and solidarity while defenders of the boys are being ratioed into oblivion. One viral tweet from a major true crime account reads, "They didn't just lie, they allegedly coordinated while a mother begged for her son's life."
This is demonic.
Celebrities are sharing the audio clip with captions like "This changes everything."
But here's the part that will destroy you. This tape is only the beginning. Sources say more recordings exist.
The joint FBI forensic phone examination is days away from exposing deleted evidence that could confirm the worst fears.
And the grand jury? It's about to see evidence that makes these 6 contradictions look like child's play. This nightmare is far from over.
The final truth is still buried, and what's coming next will shake the entire justice system in Mississippi to its core. The darkest chapter of the Nolan Wells case is still unfolding, and I'm dropping part 2 immediately.
You do not want to miss what happens next.
Now listen to me very closely because this is where you come in. The TikTok online investigator just handed us the most shocking evidence in the Nolan Wells case, and the 6 gut-wrenching contradictions they exposed prove one terrifying thing. Someone is still lying. Are you going to sit there in silence while a grieving mother fights alone against an alleged cover-up?
Or are you finally going to stand up and demand the truth?
I want every single one of you to smash that like button so hard YouTube knows this video needs to reach millions. If your blood is boiling after hearing about the fake phone story, the erased police reports, the demonic 911 call on Nolan's own family, and that chilling leaked audio, then like this video right now. Share it with everyone you know. This case deserves to trend until the grand jury has no choice but to listen. Drop your comments below, and be brutally honest. Do you believe the friends are guilty of a cold cover-up, or is something even darker hiding behind these lies? Who do you think filed that anonymous complaint to destroy Christine's career? Was Nolan's death really an accident, or are we looking at murder? Which of the 6 contradictions shocked you the most? The impossible body location, the Snapchat photo posted before it existed, or Warren's disgusting shifting stories? Your voice matters. The more fire you bring in the comments, the faster this story explodes and forces real answers. Subscribe right now and turn on notifications because I'm dropping part 2 immediately. In the next video, I'm exposing the full FBI phone forensics leak, the horrifying truth behind the missing throat tissue, and the next bombshell recording that could blow this case wide open. This nightmare isn't ending. The betrayal runs deeper than we ever imagined.
Nolan's life mattered. His mother's pain matters. And together we are going to make sure the truth comes out no matter who it destroys. Turn on the bell. I'll see you in the next video.
The shocking revelations are only getting started.